Alright guys, it's a brand new Monday. We got a brand new drop list, so stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess from Royal Highness, looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess way, so bow down, respect, and there's Coco, so howl at the moon.
Oh.
Bow low.
Alright guys, I want to welcome you all back to the show on this beautiful Monday. I hope it's beautiful where you guys are on this Monday. And you had a great weekend because we have a brand new list of comics that made the drop list. And we are in the beginning of October now. So leading up to the great holiday of Halloween. So I don't think any of these books have anything to do with Halloween, but they be dropping in the month of October. And yeah, so before we get into any of that though, Zach has something he needs to drop down his gullet?
We need to talk about Karma, guys. It's a brand new drink. Karma. It's probiotic water, or whatever that means. It's strawberry lemonade.
Gut health.
It has over 2 billion cultures.
Really?
Wow. It says 2 billion, but they can't just have exactly 2 billion.
I bet that's really good for it.
Over 2 billion.
Well, they probably can't count all of them, right?
They should. All right, let's...
Stomach karma. You drink this, a good thing comes out of the other end.
It's so confusing. I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, they say push down. It's undiluted truth.
Oh, you gotta let the goodness in there? Is there goodness in there?
Okay. Oh, this is so weird. Oh, okay. So you push down on there.
Okay. What's it putting in there? Dirt? Then you gotta mix
What the hell?
Then you gotta mix it up. Did it all go in?
Oh, it says don't mix it.
Oh,
no,
really?
I'm joking. Probiotic. Okay, it doesn't really.
I made
explain.
poisonous mustard gas.
Are you proud of me now, Dad? That's a no. Whoa, this is so crazy.
Was it expensive?
$2.99.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Energy drink. See what it does for the old belly.
Okay. I'm trying not to open up. Jesus. Oh God. I don't know. This is so weird. Okay.
This whole video is gonna be tasting karma.
It's kind of messy, you know. Okay. It's not bad. It's a little confusing though.
Did you taste the cultures?
It kind of messy. Like I spilled all over my lap. What the heck?
That's pretty normal though.
Yeah. Shut up. Wow.
Someone get him a bit. All right,
so
guys.
Rude.
Let's get back to the comics because that's what y'all came here for. But if you need to, check out that new Karma drink because Zach says it's pretty good.
Get a bib.
It's got cultures in it. All right, guys. So how the drop list goes is the ComicGains crew scours the internet for hot lists, trending lists, all kinds of stuff. We got to look through all bunch of different lists to make sure we find good books that are on the drop. So these are books that were really hot a year ago and have taken a huge plummet in price. For one reason or another, we try to figure out that reason and let you guys know. Sometimes we can't figure it out, but they do drop. And sometimes it's a really good idea to pick up these books on the drop because a lot of books kind of go like in a wave motion where it's like they go up, then they go down, then they go back up. But there's some books that just like, they're way up here and then they just go way down, and then they just keep going. And you don't want to go after that. What kind of lets you know? What are you doing that? Sometimes you're a dolphin. All right. We're getting goofy here at the ComicGains house. Okay, right. So let's kick the list off right, and we do have Invincible #1, but not the one you're thinking of. This is the Whatnot exclusive. This is from 2021, the Tyler Kirkham. It's like the battle damage cover that Whatnot put out. And obviously, it's kind of cool because it's Tyler Kirkham cover, and obviously the story's written by Robert Kirkman. So you got that. Finally get to see those two names together. But, this is... I've really liked Tyler Kirkham for a long time, and I think a lot of his earlier stuff, he was doing those Venom covers and stuff, were just awesome, and he didn't get quite the respect I think he needed to be getting. And then these came out, and they're just beautiful, beautiful books. Like, you got this one, you got Omni-Man, you got... Adam Eve, then they started doing a bunch of other ones. You got Moon Knight, you got Punisher, you got the... did he do the Pooh ones too?
I think so. Did he?
Maybe, I don't know. But there's Battle Damage Pooh if you're looking for some Pooh. But Just overall cool book, but it's one of those things where these were like really expensive when they came out, very very expensive. I think the numbers we have is on the trade dress, not the Virgin, which we're just showing the Virgin one there, but they're really expensive. But they've taken a huge drop, and I think maybe because they overdid the cover a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. You do a good thing, and then you keep doing it because you're just like you're like, why as well? Everyone loves it. Keep doing more, but then eventually you do too many. I don't know. It's hard to say. You just got to be careful with any of these exclusives. If you try to jump in right when they're on the hot, you're paying like $300, and then now you might be able to get it now for on the drop a little bit cheaper if you really, really like this book. On a side note, I'll let you guys know there is that Larry's Comic Convention exclusive, the original one that came out. Me and Zach and Princess think it's a really good idea to look out for that book. It was limited to 1,000 copies, so I don't know, Zach. But tell me more about the Kirkham cover.
So sales a year ago is $750 for a CGC 9.8 on eBay, and sells now about $299.95. So it's dropped way more than half. Range is 260 to 875. Average is 418.75. It's a really good purchase right now for the trade dress. The trade dress, the Virgin, and I believe there's a black and white version, are very similar price. There is a gold foil version that's limited, I think, to 150. It's 100 and something. And that's worth a lot of money. So if you're ever wondering why this book that looks exactly the same as this book is selling way more, it's probably the gold foil one. So make sure to keep your eyes out for that one. I would say this is a pretty decent buy right now. I don't know if it's the best buy on the list, but it's a pretty decent buy, and it's a great cover. I mean, I'll let you decide. If you like Invincible and you got extra cash floating around, this is a pretty good buy.
Yeah, I mean, the comic book, amazing. The cartoon, amazing. We've only had one season. I'm like fiending for some more Mark Invincible, and they had a great gimmick with this. I mean, I can tell you one person out of the three of us got sucked into the FOMO. When you show like 3 different characters, then what do you have to do? Get all 3? Somebody in this group ended up getting all 3 of those Invincible Tyler Kirkham books. Won't tell you which one of us, but one of us did. So it's a good gimmick. I give him props for it. Okay. We're sticking to indie books. Seems like more indie books on the list. Unfortunately, we don't have this one. I kind of wish I did have this book because it's a great cover. But we have Boys number 24. This came out in 2008. Derek Robertson and Garth Ennis. A great group to put together to make an awesome story. But this is, I wrote down all the names, first appearances in this. It's crazy. But you got first team appearance of G Wiz. You got Airburst, Buzzcut, Dimebag, Discharge, Dude with No Name, Jet Cage, Pinwheel. Then you have the cameo of the G-Force, which is 5-0, Groundhog, Critter, Divine. Then you have the other G-Force, which is Cold Snap, Roba.
G-Force.
Yep, Luckless, Flamer, Stacker, and Puss Puss. So there's a million first appearances in this book, and I can tell you back in July of 2021 is when they were announcing they were going to do a spin-off of The Boys, which was going to basically be like a school version where this is like the training area for Vought, where they're like teaching these younger heroes to become bigger heroes in the Vought universe. And this is kind of where this book jumps in, and the cover is actually an homage to the Animal House movie, which is really cool. Really nice cover on that one. But yeah, I haven't heard that they canceled this at all, and obviously the show's been super successful. The last season ended up being better than what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And but I think just people kind of forgot about it. Boys is very like, if the show's on, the books are expensive, and when the show's not on, even though it's good, they start to go cheap again. So this one might be a good idea to look for. Zach will give you some more info on that though.
So sales a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $250 a year ago. And now it's $149.99, so about a $100 drop. Range is $100 to $250, and average is $160. It's not a horrible buy. I mean, like, again, just like the last book, if you like the show, this is probably a pretty decent pickup. I don't know how long-term spec play this would be, but buy it to flip it when they announce the show, if they do, of this as a, another TV show that they possibly might do, like a high school or college.
I think it's some kind of like school for Vought, where like I don't know what they go like after like secondary school or secondary education. Probably college, I guess. College for superheroes. I'm guessing there's a lot of bad stuff that happens. It's The Boys. I mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
A fraternity house.
Alpha Omega, the beginning and end. Yeah, I think it's a decent buy, but again, there's other books on this list and that are probably better pickups than this. But yeah, it's a pretty decent pickup, especially if you like the boys.
Yeah, and it's
boys.
It's interesting. I haven't read the boys all the way through, but it's so many characters have showed up in the show that I didn't realize are already like characters from the comics. Because they did that whole thing where they went to that hospital where they were like making new people, and there was all these characters that like already showed up, and then like when they did like what's the orgasm one?
Oh, Herogasm.
Herogasm. There was a bunch of heroes that were there that are already like popular characters in the book already. You just gotta like tie all those together, like how much they're gonna like show up one time and never show up again.
Oh,
a lot of first appearances though in the boys. They have their own huge world. Okay, next up on the list, and this is a really cool book and one of my personal favorites. But we have Venom First Host number 3 from 2018, and Zach let me know that actually Venom First Host number 3 is actually going up in price. So this book in particular is on the up. But what we're really looking at is the second print from Walmart, which I did actually buy yesterday on a Whatnot stream for like $10. So keep an eye out for this book. When I get that in, we'll show you guys. It's a pretty cool book. But you have Mark Bagley, who I love, doing the artwork for this book, and Mike Costa doing the story. This is first appearance of Sleeper, who is an offspring of the Venom symbiote, which is just a very, very cool character. He's one of Sleeper and Shift from the Miles Morales, like my 2 favorite new characters that are out right now. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you from having read this story, it's really cool because it came out really close to like the Donny Cates, like right before the Donny Cates stuff was going on. And I like this Eddie Brock better, like the way they draw him, almost kind of like he's like a big football player. Yeah. Like the Eddie that they have like in the newer stuff, he's like smaller and his haircut, he has like facial hair. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's not the Eddie that I know and love. This is kind of when I read this story, I'm like, hey, this is the Eddie that I like. He's more like mean looking. He's not supposed to be all like calm and gentle. And maybe that's why they're doing it, because he's supposed to be more of like the good guy now, and he's not as evil as he was before, semi-evil. But anyway, it's a great book. I know right now that I think they're giving the Sleeper symbiote is actually going on to Normie is what's going to be coming up. Cool. So he's going to be combining like 2 characters together, which should be really cool. But just be on the lookout for this, because this second print Walmart is like limited to $1,600. It goes for like over $100 raw. So just keep it a lookout for that. And Zach will give you more information because it has dropped. And I think if this becomes a really cool character, it might be a good idea to get that second print Walmart.
Just for like the first print, 9.8 was $108 a year ago. Now it's $149. Just to give you a comparison, the second print 9.8 a year ago was $380 for a 9.8. Now it's $260. $120 drop. Dang. Range is 188 to 380, and the average is 290.67. I was gonna say that there was even a lower sale, but it was on Hake's auction, and it went for $20 by accident.
And 9.8?
A 9.8. So messed up. I never even heard of Hake's auction house. So I looked them up, and they do sales every like once a year. So it's like it's worth like keep an eye on it, because apparently books on there sometimes go pretty cheap. Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a really good pickup. I would say probably the pickup would be the first print, but the second print, if you can find it for cheap, like Adam did just yesterday, get it. I would try, if you're going to go for a 9.8, try to spend about $200. And if it takes off, it's going to be worth a lot of money. If it doesn't, it's still going to be worth about $200, what you paid for. It's probably not going to drop at all, if much.
Yeah. I think Sleeper's a cool character. I mean, obviously he came out in this storyline from Mike Costa, and then they used him in the Donny Cates run and in the Rom V, / Al Ewing run. So they're still using him. 3 different writers are continuing on with this character. He's only been around for like 4 years. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't even really talk. It's like, he turns into a cat half the time. And he's like hanging out as like a little cat. It's cool. It's a really cool character, I think.
It's very good. Very good pickup.
Okay, next up on the list, we're going straight to the Avengers. Assemble. We got Avengers 257 from 1985, and we probably have this book in the house somewhere because we should. But This is John Buscema and Roger Stern. Really read a lot of Roger Stern stuff lately and really digging. He's a great writer. But this is first appearance of Nebula. Excellent character played by Karen Gillan in the MCU universe. They announced a year ago, September 2021, James Gunn announced that she's going to have a much bigger role in Guardians 3, and that's what spiked this book a lot. Exactly a year ago, this book just started going like hotter and hotter and hotter. And over the years, I mean, when we first started buying this stuff, it was like $10, $15 book, and it was getting up there, almost $100 for like a raw copy. I think it's interesting. I'm like, how many like characters can they squeeze into this Guardians 3, because they said like Rocket's supposed to be like a pretty major character in this, and it's supposed to lead into like High Evolutionary, and then Mantis is supposed to have a bigger role. So I'm like, where are you leaving like Gamora? It's got to have some kind of a role with Star-Lord, right? Like, yeah. I mean, because the other version of her came back. So I don't know. How can they all be the major character of this movie? That might have something to do with it dropping a little bit, but I think this is always going to be a staple book, so it might be a good idea to pick this up. I don't know. Zach will give you more information.
So sales a year ago for 9.8 was $439. Wow. Sells now $200. $200.
That's too cheap for a book from 1985.
Bronze Age goodness.
That's, well, modern, but yeah, close. Yeah, 1985.
1985. Yeah. So wouldn't it be whatever?
I know it's the age-old argument.
Is it still Bronze Age, or is it
75? Right? Isn't it?
That's the start.
Yeah.
Of Bronze Age. No, that's the start of
modern. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But I would say Bronze Age. I'm just gonna call it Bronze Age. You can correct me if you want. So range 439 to 200. Range is 200 to 699. Average is approximately 350. Because I forgot to write that down. But it's about 350. So sales now $200. Wow, that's really cheap for the first appearance of Nebula. It's gonna skyrocket when the trailer drops. I'm sure they're gonna kind of show her a little bit more. Every single movie, she's been showcased a little bit more and more and more.
She was even in Thor. I mean, they that's how much they like that actress. They're like, just put her in everything. I mean, she must be easy to work with because she's shown up in like every freaking movie. Mm-hmm. They're like, very whatever, well. Shave her head, throw blue stuff on her face, and throw her in the movie.
Whatever you want. You use me as the actress that I need to do for this role. Or if that makes sense. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, she's very...
It's not that kind of movie, Zach.
Yeah, it's not that kind of movie. Anyway, she's very open to do different types of roles. And it's, obviously, she's a fantastic actress. And I think she's British.
Yeah.
Is she British?
Scottish. So, I think Scottish.
Scottish.
And she got that red hair.
And she can change her voice like that well. It's amazing. She's a very great actress. Mm-hmm. And I kind of have a crush on her a little bit.
It would surprise me if they just did a Nebula movie after this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what was she doing that whole... They don't even have her origin yet. They could do a whole origin.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the book to get, honestly, on this list.
Cool book. All right. So we had one Avengers book. What's better than one? You might as well have two. So we got Avengers 55. We're bringing it back. Silver. This is obviously Silver Age. 1968. John Buscema and Roy Thomas. You have first full appearance of Ultron. And make it a double key because it is third appearance of Dane Whitman as the Black Knight. Now this book obviously would have gotten huge heights with Age of Ultron coming out years and years ago. The second Avengers movie, which I actually really enjoyed that movie when it came out. Obviously, when you compare it to the other three, it's probably the least of the three, depending on what you like it. But I still thought Ultron was really cool. And obviously you get Vision and there's some really cool moments in the movie. But it did make a little bit of a comeback twice because obviously you have Eternals. So Dane Whitman, Black Knight, showing up in Eternals about a year ago. And then they showed the Ultron robots again in the Multiverse of Madness. So that was like the policeman for the Illuminati was the Ultron robot. So cool book. It just kind of like shows up and comes back and shows up and comes back. And I know in the real storyline for comic books, like Hank Pym is the actual creator of Ultron and not Tony Stark like they do in the movie. So I don't think we've seen the last of Ultron in the MCU. I mean, it'd be very easy to bring him back. I think that show, The Blacklist, is wrapping up, which that's the actor who voices him. So he might be free with James Spader.
Yeah.
Coming back, maybe. I don't know. I would like to see Ultron again. They haven't finished the Vision story. You got White Vision coming in. Maybe, doesn't like in the beginning of Secret Wars, in the comic book, then they bring Ultron back to life for Secret Wars to fight, and then
I think so.
And the villains start fighting him right off the bat because they're like, hey, we gotta get rid of Ultron. He's just gonna screw up everything. So, Secret Wars, Ultron, happened in the comics. I don't know. Could happen. But Zach,
definitely happen.
How do you feel about Avengers 55? Because this is a very expensive book.
So sales a year ago for 9.2 is $525 to $489. It was almost the $335.08 because that was a month before that. For some reason, stabilized and went a little higher, like a month later. Range is $335.08 to $525. Average is $460.40. It's a little bit high right now to safely say buy. In higher grades, it commands a higher value and it's more stably going up, which is interesting, like 9.8, so I'm saying. But 9.6 and below, it kind of has this like downward trend.
On the lower grades, yeah.
And I think it's a great book to get. I would get this raw at this time because you can actually find a really good deal. And a lot of people don't know how to really grade this book properly.
Yeah, it's a weird like white cover, and then you have all the characters like fighting on the front, like the Avengers fighting, like it's like a group of different people. I think like the Claws on there and like Cyclone or whatever that one guy's name is.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff happening all at once on the cover. And whenever I see this book raw, I look at it, they have it graded at this, like this is much higher than that because they just can't factor in the coloration.
We get confused too. We've run across this book a couple times where we're like, is this first Ultron? Like, we should know this better because there's like a bunch of covers with Giant Man in the middle for some reason with the Avengers. Like, just throw him in the middle and draw everyone around him. You know,
that might be.
They all look the same.
That might be a good.
You know what I mean?
It's like five books that like you look at, it's like, is it a key?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that could be a good list. There's your list for next for 3 weeks from now, Zach.
Okay, stay tuned.
There you go.
Oh, very cool.
All right, that rounds out the list of the drop list. If there are anything you guys would like to add into it, or books you were looking at, or stuff like that, definitely leave a comment down below. And if you like hearing these drop lists, because we like putting them out, they're a lot of fun. We've definitely bought a lot of books off of our own drop list. So we know some of you guys have messaged us out to show that I've bought books off the drop list too, and it's cool. You know, we're not making any money on it. We're just like giving you guys the news. So it's always good to help out the community. And if you do, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are going down, because we're going to try and go live this Wednesday. I'll have to see what time. I think 6. We'll probably do 6. So we're keeping it at 6 for now, unless the world changes between now and then.
Good.
And yeah,
Life
Zach,
happens.
You got anything else you want to say?
Life happens. You gotta share. How you do that is, you have to be a child, eventually grows up with a man that we know, all of us know if you play video games. But you're a kid that this company finds you. They're perfect specimen, army company, I guess. And they're like, okay, we're gonna fake this kid's death, take you, make you think that we want to adopt you, right? And then we throw you into this army program, and you spend 18 years of that, and make you into a super soldier, fighting, doing whatever they want. This alien intergalactic race is trying to destroy humanity. And finally you find out that you're being used to get to this Halo thing, or indirectly, because you're like one of the people that can activate these crazy technology, because you're like the chosen one or something like that. And that's how you become Master Chief from Halo.
Yeah. That's the storyline of that game?
For kind of loosely. I think I left out 2 or 3 things. But I've seen the show. It's actually really good. It's really freaking good.
It sounded like the same plot to that movie Soldier.
Yeah. Funny.
But they don't find
Funny
aliens,
how.
I don't think.
Yeah. It just happened to add aliens in the Halo thing. And then it's basically the same movie.
Bam! New story.
Bam! New story. Add some aliens.
All right,
Add some
guys.
Tabasco on that.
Until we see you next time, stay safe and remember.
Get those Halo gains.
Get up.
Halo.
Right over your head.
Halo.